So let me just state up front, I like cowboys. I really do. I was raised in cowboy country. Some of my best friends were very successful in rodeos. I've been to more than my share of rodeos myself. I've got more than one pair of cowboy boots. I've got several hats. I like cowboys. I really do. I don't want to make any cowboy mad. I've learned you don't make a cowboy mad. But I got to tell you, Christ is not a cowboy. And I want to tell you why. I want to tell you why it's better to have a good shepherd than a good cowboy in charge of your soul. Can you give me about 8 minutes? If you haven't got it, please, no worries whatsoever. But I think you'll be encouraged. I think you'll be encouraged to think about what it means to have a shepherd watching over your soul. Now, just imagine with me for just a few moments. What if Jesus wasn't a shepherd, but instead he was a cowboy? He rears his horse to a stop on the rim of the canyon. He shifts his weight in his saddle, and weary from the long cattle drive on the cattle trail, and one finger pushes up his hat on his head, and one jerk of the kerchief reveals his sun-leathered face. There's a cowboy for you. 1,000 head of cattle pass behind him. 1,000 miles of trail lie before him. 1,000 women would love to hold him, but none do. He's independent. He's self-sufficient. He lives to drive cattle, and he drives cattle to live. He's honest in poker, quick with a smile, hard riding, slow talking. His best friend is his horse, and his strength is his grit. He needs no one. He's a cowboy. He's the American hero. But behold the hero of the Bible, the shepherd. On the surface, he appears similar to the cowboy. He too is rugged. He sleeps where the jackals howl and works where the wolves prowl. He's never off duty, always alert. And like the cowboy, he makes his roof the stars and the pasture his home. But that's where the similarities cease. The shepherd loves his sheep. It's not that the cowboy doesn't appreciate the cow. It's just that he doesn't know the animal. He doesn't even want to. Have you ever seen a picture of a cowboy caressing a cow? Have you ever seen a shepherd caring for a sheep? Why the difference? Simple. The cowboy leads the cow to slaughter. The shepherd leads the sheep to be shorn. The cowboy wants the meat of the cow, where the shepherd, he wants the wool of the sheep. And so they treat the animals differently. The cowboy drives the cattle. The shepherd leads the sheep. A herd has 12 cowboys. A flock has one shepherd. The cowboy wrestles, brands, herds, and ropes. The shepherd leads and guides and feeds and anoints. The cowboy knows the name of the trail hands. The shepherd knows the names of the sheep. The cowboy hoops and hollers at the cows. The shepherd calls each sheep by name. So aren't we glad Christ isn't a cowboy? Aren't we glad that Christ didn't introduce himself as the good cowboy? But some perceive God that way. A hard-faced, square-jawed ranch hand from heaven who drives his church, who drives his children against their will to places they don't want to go, ever ready to brand them or run behind them. That's not the image of God. Jesus called himself the Good Shepherd, the shepherd who knows his sheep by name and who lays down his life for them. The shepherd who protects, who provides, who possesses his sheep. The Bible is replete with these pictures of God. The Lord is my shepherd, wrote King David. The Lord is my shepherd. We are your people, the sheep of your flock, another scripture reads. Shepherd of Israel, listen to us. You lead the people of Joseph like a flock. That's in Psalm chapter 80 and verse 1. He is our God, and we are the people he takes care of. And look at this. And the sheep that he tends. Psalm 95 and verse 7. He made us, and we belong to him, and we are his people. We are the sheep that he tends. Psalm 100 and verse 3. I mean, the imagery is everywhere. And of course, the imagery is carried over to the New Testament. And Jesus is the shepherd who will risk his life to save the one straying sheep. He has pity on people because they are like sheep without a shepherd. His disciples are his flock, and he cares for us like a shepherd. And when the shepherd is attacked, the sheep are scattered, he says. So he is the shepherd. He is the shepherd of the souls of men. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 25. That means us. He's the great shepherd of the sheep. Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 20. Did you know that 80% of Jesus' listeners made their living off the land? And many were shepherds. And they lived on the mesa with the sheep. No flock ever grazed without a shepherd, and no shepherd was ever off duty. When sheep wandered, the shepherd, he pursued and found them. When they fell, he picked them up and carried them. When they were hurt, he healed them, he treated them. And sheep aren't that smart, right? You've learned about sheep. They tend to wander into running creeks for water, and their wool grows heavy and they drown. They need a shepherd. They need a shepherd to lead them to calm water. Remember that phrase from the 23rd Psalm? And they have no natural defense, no claws, no horns, no fangs. They're helpless. They're helpless. And sheep need a shepherd to protect them. They need a shepherd with a rod and a staff to protect them. That's also from the 23rd Psalm. You know, sheep really have no sense of direction. They need a shepherd, someone to lead them on paths of righteousness, also from the 23rd Psalm. So do we, folks. So do we. We too tend to be swept away by waters we should have avoided. We have no defense against the evil lion who prowls about seeking who he might devour. And we too get lost, right? We all have wandered away like sheep, each of us. has gone his own way. From Isaiah chapter 53. We need a shepherd. We need a shepherd. We don't need a cowboy. We don't need a cowboy to herd us. We need a shepherd to hold us. And we have one. We have a shepherd, one who knows us by name. He knows you by name, friend. Take courage. Take courage. Your good shepherd will care for you. He will fight for you. He will come to your aid. You are never alone. Never alone. Why? Because your shepherd is always near. God bless you.